today's Murli makes you think that, it is very interesting that in Bhakti we connect with an image. Yes, we say that this Shivling is the picture of God, or we say this picture is Shri Krishna's picture and he is God. So we connect with pictures in Bhakti, and it never occurs to us that this picture is someone's picture, and unless it's very interesting, you never think that whose picture is this Shivling. So who is that one? So there must be a person corresponding to that picture, and then you never want to meet that one, or you never want to have a relationship with that one. You have a relationship with a picture, an image, and you think that when you keep pouring milk and flowers and everything on that picture, on that image, then you will get something out of it. Now, why don't we do the same with human beings? Why do we need human beings? We could just have pictures of them and live with them. Yes, but we don't do that to humans. We do it with God. So we don't think we can connect with the picture of a human. We connect with the soul, and we need that person in front of us. But so it's interesting that a soul can connect through the phone, through Zoom. So you are a soul sitting there and connecting with me here. So space is not a barrier, but you need that soul connection, don't you? You need that connection of the man and buddhi with the living being. So why can you have that same connection with a picture? Can you draw energy from a picture? Now it is interesting that you are sitting in your place and I am sitting in a different spatial location, but there is an energy exchange. Is there not an energy exchange? So there is an energy exchange, and there is not just the exchange of words, but there is the exchange of ideas, there is the exchange of feelings, there is the exchange of vibration. So all that exchange happens even when you are not physically in the same location, but that exchange happens because the soul is talking to the soul who is connected with the man and buddhi, with the other soul. Now, am I making sense to you? So you can have a connection with a soul even when you are not geographically located in the same place. So someone can be sitting far away, but you can have a connection with that soul because that's a connection of the man and buddhi. And you can have a transfer of feelings and a transfer of thoughts and a transfer of an exchange of vibration. So all that is possible, but it can only be possible if there is a soul at the other end. You cannot have the same exchange of energy with a picture, can you? You cannot have the same exchange of energy with an image or an idol or a picture, because that is not a soul, that is not a being, and you cannot connect with a picture, but you can connect with a being even if that being is far away. So Baba says today that if you read the Gita or you worship my idols, you will not connect with me, because I am a soul, I am a being, I am a supreme being, I am the supreme soul, Shiv Baba. And I am your father, teacher and Satguru. And only when I come, I give you what I have to give you. Now you see that Baba is every soul's parent. Yes, every soul is Baba's child. But until and unless you meet your father, now why I started with this soul connection thing is because you don't have to meet somebody physically to meet that person, but you have to know that soul, and you have to connect with a relationship, have a relationship with that soul, and not with the image of the soul. Yes, so when you know Shiv Baba, when you belong to Shiv Baba, then Shiv Baba gives an inheritance. Yes, so let's say there are two children. One got separated from the father and they did not meet the father, and they did not have any exchange with the father, and the other one lived with the father. The father nurtured the one, taught that one, gave them whatever skills and know-how they had. Now both are the two children of the same parent, but they would turn out to be very different, because one thing is having a father, another thing is knowing the father you have. So when you know the father, when you belong to the father, then the father makes you like him. And do you understand that if your father is into a certain occupation, let's say your father is a businessman, then just by being with the father, you learn how to be a businessman. Yes, so Baba says that I am your father, teacher and Satguru, and I come at this time and you belong to me at this time, and this is why even though I am your father always, you only take inheritance from me by belonging to me at this time. Yes, so theoretically, yes, Baba is always my parent, but only at this time I really meet Baba, and meet Baba in the sense I know Baba from the Murlis. Yes, even though I have not seen Sakar Baba, I hear Baba through the Murlis. I have a connection with Baba, and through that Baba is making me like himself. And until and unless you have that real connection, you cannot get what Baba has. You cannot get his property. Yes, so Baba says that I become your father, teacher and Satguru practically right now. So you see, in Bhakti we sing, Tumi ho Mata Pita, Tumi ho Bandhu, Sakha Tumi ho. But in Bhakti we do not know Baba, and we do not have a Mata Pita, Bandhu, Sakha, Shikshak connection with the Father. We hear in the Gita that God speaks and teaches Arjuna, but we don't know what God would tell me. So we only know that God spoke this to Arjuna. Have you ever read the Gita with the feeling that God is speaking this to me? Do you think that God is speaking the Gita to me when you read the Gita? You know that God spoke it to Arjuna, and God was in the form of Sri Krishna. So you always think that I am reading something that Sri Krishna spoke to Arjuna. And that is why it doesn't make sense to you to adopt what he spoke to Arjuna in the battlefield, whereas you think you are not in any battlefield, you are in a normal grihas doing your work. So Baba says that I come and become your father, I come and become your teacher practically right now. I am the Supreme Father, the Supreme Teacher. Yes, that's the truth. But right now I come and practically play that role. And only when you become my child, when you become my student, when you learn from me, can you become like me. Yes, so even if your father is a professor, until and unless you study from your father, you cannot have the same degree as him. So Baba says, I am the supreme teacher, and it is now that I teach you. It is very, very practical. And it is now that you learn from me and you become like me. And then Baba today says that I am Trikal Darshi. I, your father, your teacher, I am Trikal Darshi. So I make you like me. And it is very beautiful to understand this Trikal Darshi. You see, we always sing that God is Trikal Darshi. Yes, Trikal Darshi, Trinetri, Triloki Nath. We sing this for God. But Baba says, I am Trikal Darshi. I know the past, present and future. I know who you were in the past. What was this world like in the past? I know the present and I know the future. And I come and share this with you when I practically become your parent and teacher now. I tell you the three aspects of time. And do you understand that when we start understanding the past, present and future, the reality of ourselves, then you notice that what you see of yourself today is just a little part of you. But your whole reality is much, much bigger than this. Yes, and in your entirety, you are not this, weak, limited being that you think you are today. So in the soul world, you didn't even need a body. Yes, you were alive and very peaceful and pure in the soul world. And then in Satyug, you had everything that anybody on earth can ever conceive of. And then slowly, gradually, we have come to this. Now you see, there are, so when you remember your whole 84 births, then you remember that you have been there, done that. So, there are people, when you offer them something, they say, ये सब तो हमने बहुत खाया है, बहुत किया है. So, it's not like they are indulging in something today, but that memory that you have had enough fills your stomach. And that memory enables you to, feel full in the moment today. So Baba says, when you start remembering who you really are, and you remember that in your 84 births, what have you not done? Yes, what have you not had and what have you not done? You have had everything. Do you remember what food you had in Satyug? What food do we have in Satyug? Chappan Bhog. Yes. And Chappan Bhog, do you have one bowl full of every bhog? No. You need only little. But there is so much variety and you have, so less. So you don't have any attachment to that food. And then nature is bestowing you with everything. And relationships and sampatti, so wealth and acquisitions, there was nothing that you didn't have. So you had everything that you could ever imagine for full 21 births. If you just thought about this for 5 minutes a day, all your feeling of emptiness would go away. Yes, even today, when you don't have leisure and you think about your leisurely days in childhood, you feel you are at leisure even today. So Baba says, when I show you the 3 aspects of time and you understand that, and when have you not understood science? Have you not done bhakti from Dwapar Yuga? You've done everything. Is there anything you have not done? You have studied the best of science, you have done the best of bhakti, you have wandered here and there, you have done everything. You are very experienced within yourself. So when you sit here with that memory of who you really are, and then who you're going to be, and then Baba every day tells us that you're my child and I am the world benefactor. So the whole world says that it is God who comes and uplifts them and saves them, and Baba says you are that one who I am calling out to. So I tell you that you are the ones who do it for me. And then Baba tells us that you are the Sri Ram and you are the Durga, and you are the ones whose stories you have been reading about, those people who will, free this whole world from the attack of Asurs and Ravan and all of that. So Baba says, do you realize who you are? When you sit with me and look at who you are, you realize you are not who you think you are. And this is why Baba says, when you look at yourself in a body conscious way, you are so limited by your sense of self, and then you think that I'm limited and empty, and then you think I'm weak and I'm a consumer, so I need. And then when you sit with Baba and look at who you really are, so you see that every child receives his introduction from the father. You receive your physical introduction from the father, don't you? Yes, you receive your physical introduction from the father, and the father tells you, you are a Hindu and you're this caste, and we are Gujaratis and we are Marwadis and we are this or that, and you receive your whole introduction from the father. And then you are also limited by your father's introduction. So when your father tells you, I'm a businessman, you know that you can be a businessman. You can't do better than that. Because that's how we are introduced to ourselves. And then Baba says, I am the father of you, the soul. And until and unless you meet me, you don't realize who you really are as a soul. And this is why no amount of reading the Gita or no amount of, worshipping the Shivling or pouring milk on it is going to do any good to you until and unless you meet me, because I am your father, teacher and Satguru. And when you meet me, when you sit with me, you realize who you really are. And it is only when we sit with Baba in remembrance, in front of the Murli, it is then that Baba starts telling us who we really are and showing us our 3 aspects of time. Who we were in the present, who we are in the present. Who are we in the present? We are sitting with the Almighty, His child am I. And you see, everything is smriti based. Yes. Now if you have 1 million rupees or 2 billion rupees in your bank account, but you forget it, what do you have? You just forgot. What do you have then? Amnesia. You have nothing. So it is your remembrance, your cognizance of what is, that gives you the power of what you have. So Baba says, when you remember you are sitting with Baba right now, then you're very powerful. When you remember that Baba is looking up to you as that one who saves the whole world, then you're very powerful. But when you forget that, then who are you? Nothing. So Baba says, I am telling you, and then Baba tells us who we are going to be also. And as much as we start doing what Baba says, my faith in who I'm going to be is getting stronger and stronger. And then Baba says, when you have deep faith that your next birth is going to be that of a deity, because you're doing everything that makes you feel you're going to be a deity. Yes, because again, you cannot cheat karma. Karma, Baba teaches us that karma which makes us have faith that I'm going to be a deity. So if you are behaving like a deity, creating the sanskars of a deity today, so just think about it. Even today, animals have the sense of when to wake up. Yes, animals have the sense of when to wake up. Have you seen a cock sleeping and not making its sound in the morning? No, animals have the sense of when to wake up, and humans have forgotten that sense. Yes. So Baba says that when you do the actions of a deity, when you create those sanskars of a deity. What are deity sanskars? Deity sanskars are purity, pure food, pure drishti. Just think about it. When you go to the temple of a deity, even there your drishti is pure. Even if you have very lustful drishti outside the temple, when you go to the temple, your drishti becomes pure in front of the deity. So think about, can you have a body conscious drishti when you're going to be a deity? So Baba says, when I tell you this is who you are going to become, and this is what deities are like, and you start creating those sanskars in this birth, then in your final moments, you have great confidence that when I leave the body, I'm going to be a deity. Brahma Baba always had this confidence that when I leave the body, I'm going to be Sri Krishna. Baba used to say that tomorrow I'm going to be Sri Krishna. And he used to have happiness of, the ultimate kind, thinking about who he is going to be next. Yes, just like when you are doing well in your engineering college, you have happiness that you're going to be an engineer. Why? Because you're doing the needful. When you're doing the needful, you're very sure about what's going to happen. And then your thoughts lead you to your final destination. So karma leads to the right thoughts. Yes. Right knowledge leads to right karma. Right karma leads to right thoughts. And right thoughts lead you to your final destination. Now people think that only when you think right you will get something. No, but until and unless you do the karma, you cannot think. like that. Yes, have you seen that if your lifestyle is not good, you're not exercising, you're not eating the right food, you will always have a thought, I will fall ill. You will have a thought about, you will doubt your health in the future. Why? Because karma makes you think like that. So when you're not doing the right actions, then obviously you will have fear about your future, about who you're going to be. That's why people have so much fear of death, because they are living body consciously and they are doing the karma which makes them feel that this is everything that they can enjoy, and after this they are going to pay for it. So if you take a loan, you always live in the moment, because you know that after some time there'll be time for repayment, and you don't like that. You want to enjoy today and you're worried about the future. So this is what karmic debt does to you. And then Baba says, I am the one, I am your teacher, and I am teaching you, giving you the knowledge about who you're going to be tomorrow, and I'm also teaching you the karma of how to create that sanskar and destiny to be a deity tomorrow. And when you start doing that, then in your final moments you will have great confidence that when you leave the body, you are going to end up being a deity. You will not have doubts. You will not ask other people, what will happen after I leave the body? No. You know that I am going to be a deity, and that thought will lead you to your destination. So Baba says, I am the one who comes and adopts you and gives you the sustenance, the love, the care, the pampering, the this building of self-esteem that a father can do to you. I'm the one who reminds you who you are. So parents tell us about our childhood, right? How many of you remember the day you were born in this body? Nobody. But you were told about it by your parents. So parents tell you, it was raining heavily the way you were born, and then we fretted and frowned, and there was nobody to take me to the hospital, and this happened and that happened. And that is etched in your memory, is it not? So you think about the moment you were born, whereas you don't have any real memory of it, but then that colors your sense of who you are. And then your parents told you that you were born on Janmashtami, or you were born on Ram Navami, or you were born on Durgashtami, and then we always thought that you are very auspicious for us, and all that is etched in your memory. Or that you were born after six children, and we thought you were an accidental child, and and that you were a burden to us. And then that also you feel inside yourself, that I am that unwelcome child. So Baba says that whatever your parents tell you, that shapes your sense of who you are, gives you an identity about you. And Baba says you have received every possible physical identity from your physical parents, but now I, your spiritual father, I, the father of the soul, teacher of the soul, have come, and I am giving you a glimpse into who you are in totality. And I am Trikaldarshi, so I can tell you about the future also. So now you belong to me. You know much more than you knew earlier about yourself, about your father, about your qualities, possibilities. And then I am your teacher and as your Satguru, and I am teaching you the karma that you should do so that you reach that future. And when you accept me as your father, teacher and Satguru, when you recognize Mera Baba aa gaya, so that Baba, for whom we were wandering and calling out in bhakti for so long, he has come and he is giving us that sustenance, that education that we needed for so long. And when you just surrender to him like a child, surrender to him like a good student, and you start taking that sustenance and studying that study and doing as he says, then Baba says, you will feel like God's child and God's student. Because just like I have practically come and I'm playing the father and the teacher, you also have to become a practical child and student, so that you can also feel the power and the might and the strength of being Baba's child and student. So Baba says, this is who I am, and you sang praises about me, and you always sang that tum mata ho, pita ho, bandhu ho, sakha ho, but I am here practically playing that role right now, and only when you belong to me practically, you take the inheritance and you get the post. You don't get it by reading the Gita, or you don't get it by, going and worshipping the Shivling. Baba says, even if it's my image, don't worry. You don't get the inheritance from that. So, you get your inheritance from your father, not from your father's picture. Your father's picture cannot sign the will. Your father's picture doesn't have any property. Father has the property. So how do you get the property? By worshipping the picture. So this is a very beautiful Murli that Baba gives us today. And then Baba today says, don't worry if somebody leaves the body. Yes. Don't worry if somebody leaves the body. Because you should only have relationships. You should only have deep heart-to-heart connection with who? Baba's children now. Yes. And B is, so have you heard this saying that you cannot change anybody's destiny, but in an attempt to do so, you can mess up your own. So if you are still entangled with people who are hell-bent upon spoiling their destiny, then you are only messing up your own destiny. Disentangle your buddhi, your attachments from people who are not taking care of their destiny. Do you understand this? Even if you are related by blood to them, yes, do what you can do to help them, but detach mentally. Because if somebody is not taking care of their destiny and well-being, and you don't detach yourself, you will only mess up your destiny. Yes? Have you seen that when somebody is drowning, what you have to do is extend your hand to pull them out. But if their current is too strong, then you have to take a decision to pull out your hand. Otherwise, they die and you die with them. So you must have the sense, that you have to be sensitive enough to connect with the other person, to give them what they need, offer them what Baba offers you. But you should also have the sense to have that detachment and not be too sensitive to be sucked into their drama. Yes, I'll give you one example. So there was this sister and she told me that my mother died and I'm the only and so we are two sisters. My mother died and my elder sister is not very well, so she cannot take care of my father. So my father lives alone and I'm the only surviving person who can take care of my father. So I live separate, but I call my father every day. And my father is very bitter. So as soon as I call him, he starts complaining about how much I don't care for him, and he starts complaining about everything that happened in life, and he starts from his childhood and he abuses every person he knew. And then he says, by the time it's 15 minutes and I'm talking to him, my head starts aching. And then I always ask him, don't you have any good memory? He says, no, I have no good memory. I only have this, and you are my daughter and you have to listen to this. And he does this every day, and then he expects me to call him 10 times a day. And then he said, Didi, then she said, Didi, please help me. What should I do in this situation? So I told her, you tell your father, next time you tell me anything negative, I'm not calling you. And you stick to that. And then she said, what about my duty as a daughter? I said, what about your duty as a soul? You have to protect yourself. It's tough, but this is what you have to do. So Baba says, don't be attached to those who are not helping themselves. Be sensitive enough, be giving enough to help them. But if somebody refuses to help themselves, then you have to detach. Even if you have a physical responsibility, fulfill it, but no emotion. You will mess up your karmic journey. And then Baba says, when you have good relationships with people who are on the good path. So one thing you have to be clear, no relationship, no heart connection with those who are not taking care of their destiny. Second thing, you have a good connection with souls who are trying to better themselves. And obviously we have a Brahmin family and this. But Baba says, with the Brahmin family, if somebody leaves the body, yes, somebody who you took sustenance from, somebody who has been a good, somebody who has been giving you Baba's knowledge very nicely, and they leave the body, don't be sorry for them. Because they have done their work, they are on their journey ahead, and they belong to Baba, and Baba is going to, put them in a place where they can serve even more. In the world also, the one who does good work is given more good work. Somebody cleans well, yeah, you place him in the dirtiest place to clean. So Baba says, I will appoint them for better work. Why do you feel sorry when they go away? They are appointed for better work, more fruitful work. So never feel sorry about, so don't attach your heart with somebody who is not taking care of their destiny. Remember this first. Second thing is, even when you have a good connection with those who are, Baba's children and those who are taking care of Baba's yajna, don't feel sorry if they leave the body, because when they leave the body, they are placed better. They have earned that with their own karma. So you should be happy that they are getting promoted. They've done their bit here, so they will go somewhere where they have to do better work. So keep this in mind. And then Baba says, Amma mare to bhi halwa khao, Bibi mare to bhi halwa khao. Anybody dies, so don't go and cook halwa and eat. That's not what Baba says. Halwa is Gyan ka halwa. So this, this powerful knowledge you take every day. Don't stop your murli. Anybody died, don't stop your murli. Don't stop your yog. So don't go and cook halwa, but that's not a good idea. so, so you can have whatever is cooked in the bhandara, but don't go and cook halwa especially, because that also is not a nice idea. But eat the gyan ka halwa, whatever happens in and around you. So this is also what Baba talks about, souls leaving the body. Okay, so Baba is my Baap, teacher and Satguru. Have faith in that. Then you take your inheritance and you will do the karma which will lead you to your final destination. Om Shanti.